Go ahead. I'll come to you.
HTS specifically, you said they're saying, that they're saying the right things, but it depends on what their actions are in the coming period. Are they saying those things? They're saying those things publicly, but have they communicated that to the United States?
I'm not going to speak to private conversations. I think here's what I'll say. So, as they moved into Damascus over the coming days, the leaders of HTS have been having a number of conversations with parties in the region. Obviously, they have a long-standing relationship with the government of Turkey, but they have relationships with other countries as well, and they have been having conversations with different countries. And one of the reasons the secretary had these series of calls today was not just to lay out the United States principles, but as he does in all of these calls, he wants to listen to what these other foreign ministers have heard in their conversations among the region. Of course, that would include what HTS is saying. Now, I'm not going to read those out publicly, but we are as well listening to hear what they say privately. But ultimately, it matters much less what they say privately and what they say publicly than what they do going forward. We have seen over the years any number of militant groups who have seized power, who have promised that they would respect minorities, who have promised that they would respect religious freedom, or would promise that they would govern in an inclusive way, and then see them fail to meet those promises. So we really do mean it when we say what's important is watching how they actually behave in the coming weeks.
And so this foreign terrorist designation, HTS seems to have installed this interim leader, right, Mohammed al-Bashir. My understanding is he's been an administrator in areas that they've controlled. Does the US consider him sort of part of HTS for the purposes of the terrorist designation?
I don't have any assessment. I'd have to go. It would be really a fact-based assessment, and if there are people that have done it inside our department, I'm not aware of it. So I don't have any assessment of what we consider him to be or not to be.
And you said it doesn't stop you from talking to people, but just to be clear, if there is a interim government formed with members of HTS who pass that test, there will be some limitations on how the US can assist.
Certainly, we're getting into the realm of hypotheticals, but certainly if an organization is designated as a designated foreign terrorist organization, we don't have the ability, no one has the ability under US law to offer support for such an organization. That's different, of course, than communicating with them.
Right, and you mentioned in relation to Austin Tice that this is part of your conversations with entities on the ground. Could you say specifically that that's like a message that you've sent to HTS? Austin Tice is a priority.
It is a message that we have sent to HTS. I'm not going to speak to direct communications, but in all of our communications with parties that we know talk to HTS, we have sent very clearly the message that as they move through Syria, liberating prisons, that our top priority is the return of Austin Tice. And we want anyone who is operating on the ground in Syria to be on the lookout for him. And if they do find him, to help return him to us safely and as soon as possible.
And has HTS provided any reassurance on that particular point?
I think at this point I probably ought to draw the line and not get into underlying details. Yeah.